Now it's time to start working on that control rig. Okay, so let's shift click. Actually, no, let's just, yeah. Cursor to the world origin and enter edit mode on the armature again. And let's just add in a bone and rotate X by -90 degrees. Let's rename it to control underscore root.001. And then we want to actually duplicate the body, make it fatter with Control Alt S and scale it up, and then scale it down normal with normal S, and rename that 2.001 and control body.001. Now we're gonna get the control rig parts in for the doors as well. So let's just put the cursor there, Shift A, put the cursor there, Shift A, and then we're going to, because we're in individual origins, rotate by, what do we want to do? 90 degrees on the X. Yeah, I think. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. And then we can just scale them down a little bit, move them out, go to median point, scale X 0. Now they're on the same spot. Super useful. Let's go back to individual origins so we don't mess anything up. And yeah, so now they're there. That's great. Let's actually move them a bit. Move this one farther out so that they have a nice spread so that they don't run into each other when we get it all nice and rigged up. So now time to rename them. So this is control underscore front door dot r.001, and this one right here is control underscore back door dot l.001. Why did I name this one L? This one is R. It's hard to do this, guys, trust me. You'll get the hang of it though. I will too someday. But yeah, so now the names are done properly, and that's the doors and the body. And now we have to do, the wheels are a different thing, so that's a whole different story. That's later on. Now all we got to do for the control rig left, I think, is the headlights. Grab the car body and go right ahead, snap the cursor to that thing, and let's actually add in the lights right now. This will be so much quicker than last time. Anyway, we can add in a point light right there, move it a little bit over, so it's probably good. This is where we go into EV, no, not workbench. We go into EV so we can see things. Let's start turning on all this stuff. And let's turn up the brightness to, I've done 500 the past few times, so we're gonna stick with 500. Is it good? I don't know, all you EV masters out there, you're gonna have to let me know. I don't know what this is I'm doing, but it's just to show that it's kind of working a little bit. Yeah, so that's the headlight dot r.001, and then we duplicate that, right click to put it back, and we reverse the X, and then we grab them both, put them back, and grab them along the Y and slide. Go back to median point, scale by X so that they're kind of in the center, and move them forward so that they're inside the light areas. We move down a little bit. Yeah, definitely move them down a little bit. Scale them on the X down, so we want to put them right in the middle. Yeah, that's probably good. And then for these rear lights, which we're gonna, how about we rename them rear lights right now? .r rear light, rear light.r.001, and we gotta rename this one as well. Guys, this is so hard to rename things, but it's a good habit to get into, so I advise you to do it. .l.001, and we gotta fix the name of this one up here. .1, oh, that's not right. .l.001. Okay, names are proper. Okay, for the rear lights, we want them to be red, so let's just go change the color to like that. Control C over it to copy the color, and then Control V over the white to make it red. Okay, now we're leaving EV. I can't take it anymore. Back to solid view. So now we got the lights in. One last little bit. We gotta add the controls in for the lights. Now they won't do anything yet, but they'll be there. You know how it is. Okay, so put the cursor right on the front. Go back to the armature. Add in a bone. Rotate X by -90. Oh, see, that's when we're not in individual origins. Rotate on the X by -90 degrees while in individual origins. Scale it down a little bit. Make it skinny with Control Alt S. I keep saying that. Guys, I'm going to get screencast keys probably next tutorial because I forgot this one. I was going to, and then I forgot it. But let's rename this bone as control underscore headlight dot r.001 and do the same thing back here. Put the cursor back to edit mode, add in that thing. Let's just rename it to control underscore rear light. I also don't know if it's called the rear light. I don't know what the name for it is. Are they called blinkers? Is that what you would call it, or is that only when they blink? Like, what about the lights that are just on? So the headlights are definitely called headlights. I don't know about the rear lights though. But real light dot L dot 00. No, that's the right side, not L. Right side. Okay, rotate on the X by 90 degrees this time. That's important. Opposite ways, and make it skinnier. GY, scale it down, make it a little bit farther. Okay, good. And now we are going to start working on some constraints. Do not symmetrize yet, because we don't want to do any extra work than we have to. We symmetrize like as late as possible, because it will copy all the constraints that we do over to the other side. Otherwise, you'd have to do it by hand. You don't want to do it double times. So just don't do it. Like, wait for a little bit. It's fine. Alright, so the first thing is first. What we're going to do is fix which layers all these bones are on. So we're going to grab all the controls, so like go to edit mode, grab that one, that one, that one, that one. The root control, the body control, and M, and move them over to the front layer, because that's where controls usually are. So those are all our controls right now. And what we're going to do is shift click the other one so we can see it all still, and start adding some constraints. So first things first, grab that door controller and shift click the door deformation that it corresponds to. Control Shift C to add constraint with targets. And we are going to do transformation. So first things first, we got to decide how far should this thing go to make the door open all the way. So if we look in the top left corner, we're sliding, and I'd like it to slide right about, probably right about, I don't know, there, negative 0.8. So it's going to slide negative 0.8. So if we go into the bone constraints on the deformation one, map from location on the Y 0 to negative 0.8. Okay. And then we have to decide how far should the door turn when it opens. So if we're watching on the top, we gotta open as far as we want. About negative 70 degrees. I'll take that. And we go to map to rotation on the Z 0 to negative 70 degrees. Just ignore the min and max. As long as it like maps properly, you're good. And we want it to map from the Y axis, because as you see up here, Y goes to Z. And last thing we gotta do is turn both these over to local space so we don't mess anything up. Alt G, Alt R, why is this one like stuck like that? Do we do it wrong? Maybe. What if I put this to negative 70 and this to 0? Is that better? Probably. Oh, that's not better. Not better at all. Okay, negative 70, 0. How about, sometimes it does this if it doesn't like the order of the negatives, but yeah. Negative 0.8, 0. Okay, so now it's good, okay. So now as you can see, the door opens and closes properly with just sliding this control, which is super nice, super handy. It's gonna be absolute pleasure to animate with, so definitely do this. And last thing, this thing's like kind of sliding around everywhere I want. Like, I don't want it to do that. I want it to stay in its little like slider. I want to pretend it's like a little knob, like a little switch. I can just slip and slide back and forth. So it went from 0 to negative 0.8. So what we're going to do is add constraint, limit location, turn them all on, effect transform, local space, Y, this is negative 0.8 to 0. And now when I grab it, it'll just go in the area that affects the transform. And we're all set. So now to make this easier, we can just grab this. Well, we can grab this one, and then this one.